Killjoy here.
Yeah. One of the biggest concerns that I do have for G, and we'll see if they're able to counteract it, is if Gen G wants to come out here swinging, go really balls to the wall with their aggression, that's something that they were not able to contend with when they were playing against Paper Rex.
That's right. But we are starting on the defensive side, at least for Global. So some standard positioning so far. SK Rossi already opening things up.
Yep, nice kill, taking down Meteor, and that's that aggression dealt with. Nice quick stop to it. Meanwhile, the rest of the team creeping over towards A. Alarm bot set up right in the archway here. Obviously, will get spotted rather quickly as TS creeps his way forward.
Texture is the only one here, so that's going to be crucial information.
Well, already gets the dink onto one. Nearly sets up for the kill on the TS as well. Survives with just 10 HP. He's going to swing around towards Secret. Does spot Monyet.
Decent trade.
Spike planted.
Coming in. Everyone on their way.
Oh, no. Trying to get himself up into the smoke. Not going to work out. Turn on the flash. Godhead swings out of the smoke, and he's going to manage to find both. And Bazzi now taken down, but as he reaggresses over towards the site, Rossi good for a second kill, and that leaves Sylvan all on his lonesome still on the rotate. He finds the headshot for the defuse. It's being held. He's got to push the corner, and it's not going to be fast enough. Sylvan will be the last man standing, but it's Global that take away the pistol round win.
That is still a pretty good win to start off things. I mean, SK Rossi getting the first pick on towards Meteor. That guy's not going to be too happy about losing that first Jet duel. I think he's going to come back with blood on his hands. On to the next, though, of course. I mean, it's just the way that you actually waterfall and collapse onto it. I think it was so crucial that Texture took off at least one pick, and he did. And of course, with Godhead with that flash, was pretty amazing, but still, the numbers will prevail.
See, spending down for the most part here is GE of Marshall in the hands of SK Rossi as he continues to be postured up now at A. Shifting position, trying to see if they're going to creep their way over towards that site again. But for now, widely avoiding him. And yeah, you don't want to rejiggle that one.
Too much. See that they're kind of falling back to position. Aaron trying to swing off contact, but not going to happen.
Nicely done there. I mean, pretty much all of these players on Gen G, ooh, she get that Sheriff in their hands. And they can be dangerous. Monyet taking the tag down now to 49 health. Nearly surviving as Bazzi puts it from close contact, but Meteor is ready for it. Scopes in, instantly finds the kill. And suddenly Gen G are in a very good position to seal away this eco round. Monyet will go ahead, shut one down, and Sylvan pushes off the back of the fragment, actually pushes through, wants to be able to recover that weapon once the snakebite is gone. As Texture goes charging forward, finds one, interrupts the plant, but TS has covering fire, takes him down. Spike now on the ground, and that leaves Rossi on his lonesome on this flank. Finds one. Does take a shot from the Sheriff down to 82.
They don't have armor. Any shot will do the trick. So Rossi, as long as he's crisp, he's good.
Need to make sure that he can't isolate these fights here. Not dead. A little bit of a wider swing for him. Sylvan taking a couple shots, both of them down low, but the flash is going to be good. Goddead will have the finish, and Gen G managed to turn their tide around.
And that's how you want to play this. The Thrifties are still so good. Rounds which are kind of yours to lose. Gen G still has what it takes just because of how sharp, how smart they are. Meteor knows exactly where to look, exactly where Bazzi would appear from. Not just him as well. I mean, the way the first pick went, the way they actually continued to push into B as a team. Global, Texture, I could see what he was going for, but it was just way too difficult to take on 3 opponents by yourself.
Yep, and that's a brutal start now. Back to classics. Most util, though, is here for the side of GE. Looks like maybe just a single flash missing there from Aaron, but here comes the crunch in the mid. Goddead and Ping having this crossfire is just brutal for him. It's one after the other now. 4 players gone. Bazzi the last man standing. And at this point, kind of just swing out. CS will go ahead, pick up 2 in the round. And that's already that Cosmic Divide as well as the null command online here for Gen G.
I don't know if I'm a fan of that one, Achilles. That was just a really, really tough round to work against, especially with the fact that you only have classics. But you would have hoped that maybe at least Global held some off-angle positions, one and dones, rather than just everyone peeking mid and all against the rifles. You're just running as a firing squad. Yikes.
Rossi now does get an AWP in his hands. What use he's able to find out of it. Flash over the top, not going to spot anything. Double flash. Just to go ahead and try to clear out main. Oh, he does get the connection. A lot of shots through the corner of the wall. Sylvan going to be knocked down to 32, and obviously as this guy cannot self-heal. Now, no command going to be popped. Rossi unable to dash out of here. Has to just go ahead and pull back, but Even the smoke timing, the Nebula gets popped. This dissuade them from pushing forward. Great tuck timing as well. They pull him into the center. Bazzi able to shut down Goddead for the moment. Rossi finds the follow-up shot. Sylvan going to be taken out of the fight. Fight, just go ahead and try to cut off its backside position. And Meteor spams through. That's Rossi dead in dugout. The res in the meantime comes in, but oh, what a transition. Aaron,
Standing.
somewhat lucky to get that headshot out on the Meteor. Finds the second kill. Monette will be there to finish the job and now needs to go recover the operator. A couple seconds left to do so. We'll be able to get it. Last man standing barely scrapes by those GE, but they managed to tie it up at 2-2.
A little bit close, but thankfully Aaron was there to get the spray. And this is one of those rounds where you really have big information to work off of. You can see that Gen G were trying to set up a bit of that split push, but really, with that well-timed Nebula coming in from Monette, it really saved Rossi. Rossi was able to find one more pick, and Global were just able to come back in for that kind of sight contest. 2-2.
Get out of my way!
2-2 in the buys. Somewhat similar. The Econ definitely shifting a little bit more in Gen G's favor at the moment, but that operator still held. Rossi is still somebody that needs to be feared. Granted, he is in the opposite side of the map for now as Meteor looks to entry. Just double updrafting up over the top, drops down, and Texture is there, ready to receive.
Oh my god.
Takes him out, finds the second, turns away from the flash just in case it hits, and now they get the haunt reveal on the 2. Spam through the wall, just trying to get it. King knocked down to 83, but Texture unable to find a third in the round. Aaron will take out TS. King. Spike now just about being brought into A, and King trying to get the timing around the back towards spawn, but ends up getting peeked and taken down, and Monette will have the finish once again, denying the spike plant, so that extra money not going to be found for Gen G. Global once again establish a lead.
And it's going to be a loss that's felt by Gen G at the very least, but I mean, it's the same sort of execute almost, just a little bit faster, and if anything, Global were already prepared for this. Rossi, yeah, he might have been on the other side of the map, but he was just arriving on time. Everyone already knew what they had to do, especially on this site, so it's just kind of slim pickings, and we'll take them down one by one.
Nicely done. Bold push out of that smoke from Texture. Could have been met with death, but ends up coming away with 2 kills and very much keeps him in the round. Looks like GE looking to up the pace again. Trying to challenge here in mid, but they will go ahead and back away before they get in too deep. Well, Art ready to be assaulted here. Shots through the door. We're looking for it. Pop flash over the top. Goddead able to break contact. Swings away in the meantime. Texture picked over by Art. That site anchor gone. A site completely left open now.
Yeah, your utilities rendered useless, and at the same time, Global's just trying to contest and go aggressive, trying to block off this B-Link area that Gen G are trying to explore. Maybe anticipating a push, but it would not work well for Global.
The timing.
Work off the distraction of the Haunt.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautifully done. See it all the time with Sova darts. Why not the Haunt? Pulls the attention. The headshot comes through. Still the man advantage is here at Rossi. Does he get timing? He hears the dog, and TS just continues to swing out, finds him. The up now on the ground. A site completely opened up. It's Bazzi and Monette to try to get the clutch. Bring them back into this round.
30 seconds left.
That leaves the 2. It's going to be tough because you already have the site, you already have the positions covered, angles held, and if anything, Sylvan just falls back, gets more information, buys enough time for his team to set up. They already have this crossfire.
He's only seen one, so they don't necessarily know that both players are approaching from this angle. That's why they're still going to be watching back over towards Flowers. Good for the season back site. That does get tagged by it. They are running out of time. It looks like the call might be made to just go ahead and save as they continue to back away over towards mid. The money still a little wishy-washy. They have enough for the buy going into the next round, but want to be able to hold on to the weapons that they have. So they'll have to concede this one and allow Gen G to tie things up at 3-3.
Might as well. 3-3, not so bad. We definitely want to...
Okay.
Still a little trade.
Given TS his money, you don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
Looks like King, though. He swapped over to the operator, so they're going to look to put this in the hands of Meteor on the attack.
The other side, and that could be that B-Long duel that we're all watching and waiting for, SK Rossi versus Meteor. But again, I mean, it's one of those things where you just kind of want to get a feel and understand how Gen G might want to approach it. For the past couple of rounds now, we've seen them head back towards A main. It's a simple push. It doesn't really work out. So this time they went through mid, And that's kind of where GE wanted to fight them, I think, but maybe not lead those duels with your Killjoy, because you have that much utility. You need that to anchor down the site.
I mean, they do, but the thing is they actually just play Texture like a fiddle. They say you know what, he's been playing contact off of this turret over by Art. We'll just go ahead, swing out, and then just get the punish. It works a treat. Falling for his own trap. You can see, though, Texture changing up his position, not wanting to do that again. Instead, it's going to be Bazzi trying to hold things down, but minor attention over towards B, just scouting out the area as Meteor gets swung into a wider position so he can stare down into the site. If they can get a pick, that'll likely lead to Gen G making a decision, but for now, they're not putting their eggs in either basket.
Not quite looking for the opening pick, if anything, but given how global our position is well, they don't want to give that up. If anything, SK Rossi actually has the angle up towards A main if anyone decides to push.
Just a little fake there on that smoke, and TS, he still swings right out into it. Probably not anticipating that Rossi was still going to be waiting in that position. There's the turret cleared, Texture.
Poison's off.
Swings off of it, but not fast enough to catch King.
Now they all rotate back around towards A main. They know Rossi is here. It could just be, I mean, this comes down to a feel of game sense. Is A only defended by one player or more?
Left.
And Rossi's the only one here with the operator so far. His tailwind's gone. They know they can overwhelm him.
Well, they haven't.
Why not go for it?
Okay, well, I mean, Rossi still looking to hold the door, gets his dash back. Cosmic Divide now going to be coming up just to try to cut off their access. Flash goes through. They're still pushing. Rossi unable to stabilize to find that second shot. Hit now going to be invested. You can see this was a crucial misfire here from the side of Global. Aaron was over on the B site, using that null command to stop the advance while they storm their way into A. Lockdown, however, will still help flush them out. But now the divide is gone.
All right. So if anything, we know they're all on the other side of this wall, all on the other side of A main. That's where you have to focus your utility on.
Oh, the blind shot through. Just going to try to kill a defender, and Meteor gets the no-scope. He swaps to the shorty. Finds Aaron. He's looking for a little bit more, but the knife is not going to get it done. The Bazzi will find him, but then it's two players left standing. Gen G once more take the lead off the back of a highlight reel play.
Just another Nebula. The shorty pulled out the blind shot through the smoke. Meteor does it all. And if you're Global, you have the numbers in that scenario. You have the information, but the fights just didn't go your way. You even expended the Killjoy lockdown just to push them all the way back. But when it came down to these duels, you just couldn't deal against this Meteor.
Nasty stuff. Meteor with the quick decision making, the no scope accuracy, and the shorty.
Almost
gets
a
it
knife.
done. Yeah, I mean, he was going for it. I don't think he would have been able to get it, but either way, some flashy stuff to keep them in that round and shut down multiple players. They're trying to take main control. And that's going to force out a timeout now as Global allow that lead to slip out of their hands. Eraser clearly not fully happy with what he's seeing. Things still being played close, but probably just wants to get in there, shore up some of the decision making, and reinforce the reads here from Aaron a little bit. Try to clean things up in that regard.
Yeah, because it's not just like the reads or the positioning as well. I think it's a lot of these plays where, first of all, you have the information in that round. You know that this is where you want to take the fight, but when you push into it, that's just where those tiny micro plays, micro mistakes happen. And at the same time, if we're talking about just overall arcing strategy, we've been seeing how aggressive Texture can be. It's a very different style as to how DRX's Buzz plays, for example, and I think there are some slight positioning adjustments that they want to make here. On the other hand, though, I mean, it is a save round after all, so we're going to be playing the long game this time.
Yeah. Just the Nightfall at the end of that. A lot used in that round, but Rossi could be a major turning point. It's the flash. They were going to get that sound alert all the same, but I mean, Gen G seemingly reading this well. They know that they're on an eco. They get that flash out, and they're anticipating this forward push from multiple players out of A.
It is one of those things, right, Achilles? You just called the timeout. Why was that called? I'm thinking about it. We look at their ultimates, and they must be setting something up. There was a Hawk, so that's exactly why Gen G decides to push to B. They're reading this perfectly well.
Okay, Rossi, though, still gets in, finds TS, and that's going to be that defensive cover now taken away. Still, of course, do have King. But limited setup. The wall just a block off B main.
Oh, Aaron.
Creep coming through. He's expecting that link, but turns his sights over, and he will take a shot, but Aaron not fast enough on the trigger with that frenzy. Ends up falling. brings us now into a 4v4. The Blades still at the ready, but not anticipating this push out here at Heaven. Meteor finds one, now Texture gone. Things looking better and better here for Gen G to be able to close the round. Need to see big things now from Rossi. There's going to be one, 3 more to go. Spike ticking away, time dwindling. Rossi, does he try to jump up the top? No, he can't. Actually doesn't have the updraft. The Blades whipping, finally finds another. Looks to at least take some guns out of their hands, but in the end, will run out of knives and just wants to try to go down to the Spike, but Sylvan will get the finishing shot. Everyone dead on the floor, but Gen G will stretch the lead by 2.
And not only that, I mean, it's like an additional ult point for Sylvan as well. It's a good attempt from SK Rossi, but when it comes down to it, you just didn't have enough utility in your belt. You didn't have the updraft, you didn't have the angles, and Gen G just read that like a book. They knew which site to press onto. They knew which angles to hold. I mean, this is exactly why they positioned themselves up on top of Heaven.
All right. Here's a round that we anticipate this timeout is going to be the most valuable, most tuned for now that they have weapons back into their hands. Nightfall still in the back pocket here at Bazzi. Trying to shut down one of these pushes. Yeah. I mean,
Got a Blade Storm.
don't mind it too much.
I think he was possibly setting up for a potential double updraft or anything, but there was that Prowler that was kind of a tell to Gen G that there are players positioned up by A, so we're going to explore a different option.
Oh boy. Push out. I mean, Bazzi's gone. Nobody's able to counter swing. TS now gets the reload off.
You want to fight it?
Seems like he's anticipating maybe some more aggression,
Oh.
but he's not expecting it from this angle. Still turns, puts quite a bit down onto Texture. The health remaining as Meteor now. The site's taken. Gen G look to save them all from multiple angles. Rossi on the creep up. Spots the gun barrel. He knows exactly where this Viper's at, but the counter swing starting to come out. King gets the timing perfectly as well as the headshot. Rossi now dead. The op again lost. Blades from Meteor continuing to find value. Another kill. Weapon upgraded. With just 2 members left, can they do anything? Aaron says yes. It's a headshot on the one. Finds a second. Dugout now cleared out. The last 2 players going to be in backside, and they're very well aware of this. The nade goes in a little bit deep, though. It doesn't cut off their access. As Texture taken down, and then Aaron gets mistimed. Util in hand. Sylvan scoops the last 2 kills, and Gen G move up 6-3.
That's just one of the more slightly chaotic rounds, Achilleos. We start things off with a bit of, I don't know, like, aggression towards A main, if anything. You start to explore it, you start to challenge TS, and maybe it worked out for a second, but this is exactly why Gen G decided to send the other squad all the way through Art, because that is exactly where the gap was in GE's map control. And off of that, they compromise, they infiltrate the A site, and they were able to just spread across.
Some really minor things, that fragment not going deep enough. It ends up costing them dearly. One yet, Sheriff in hand, manages to steady for the second shot. That will be Godda taken out. Meanwhile, Meteor just lighting up that box in case there's anybody tucked away behind it.
Here.
Gen G again playing it safe. I mean, look at how they're trying to suss out information from Global.
That's a push forward. Prowler does connect on the Meteor, just has to wait. Then the Cloudburst continues to play aggressively. Bursting out towards Link. Now they can turn their sights and potentially push down into B.
That's where SK Rossi is looking down their sights, but I'm more curious about Monyet holding this angle.
Needs to get this kill. Rossi, though, he'll be the one to do it. Takes his head off, and that's going to be a rifle now recovered.
Oh!
The second shot, Meteor struck down. The push out, not quite fast enough with the quick scope, but still, Rossi putting them right back into a very winnable position now with a 4v2. The Nightfall at the ready as well if they decide to commit it, and I think they might.
And it's just good information for Gen G. They know exactly which angles to hold, but it's so important for Global to push together at the same time. They eliminated one angle now.
Both end up avoiding. Caught, cleared. Now very well aware of TS's position. The Seas goes out to try to catch him. They're looking to flush him out of the spot. Oh, it's a risky push. Both of them tagged down, 105 HP between the 2 of them. Can they get anything done? The double swing out, and Aaron will have it. Diffuse over to Bazzi, at least for the half hold. He'll pass it to Aaron to get one away from the null command, and GE will pull off a much-needed thrifty win to bring them within 2.
That's just an interesting way as well. You took a Thrifty against us on the second round. We're going to do it back to you. And that's how Global plays, especially when you have these Jets. I mean, Will was right on the desk, Achilles. These two players are the ones to look out for. SK Rossi and Meteor right now, but this round, it's just the way that the map has been divided, the way that Gen G tends to stick together, tends to play a little bit more slow just to be careful with how they want to approach the site. This leaves the front side of Belong a little bit exposed, and SK Rossi knows how to exploit that.
It does. You can see there in the comms, Aaron counting them down, continuing to just keep level heads, play together. And it's worth noting, I just took a glance back. Exactly. First time that he's playing KO in his career. This is not something that we have seen. I was curious about it because we typically do see him on, the Sentinel role, smokes. He has played Raze in the past, but we have not seen him pick up this KO until today. And I think that can be seen a little bit. Again, you go back to that fragment not cutting off that secret access onto the A site. There's still some things that aren't fully trained in muscle memory with this character. But so far, I mean, good lord, they wrote a novel. I wasn't even looking at the screen for a second. But yeah, there's some things to be tuned up, but Aaron's still trying to be very much the leader and keep everybody with their heads focused in this game.
And that's what he's here for. I mean, utility-wise, maybe the impact isn't quite there yet. You mentioned that missed fragment, but he has those, the leadership skills. I mean, knowing to push together as team, play together off that retake. Now, I mean, Gen G trying, actually similar approach, still bunched up together, still just trying to get information that Global isn't giving them.
East site widely ignored, though. They don't have this operator in position. Fragment now going out. Aaron will sound the alarm, like, yep, they're coming to B. At long last, they've been straying away from it, which is surprising.
Oh,
but now SK Rossi going to be taken down as he tries to get mangled. Meteor, haunt revealed. Gets knocked down to 74, though, as he gets tucked away over towards back hall, but as he pushes out, Aaron with the spray managed to find him, and now Goddad is taken out. That's the spike stranded in back hall for now.
Imagine the call. Spike isn't planted yet, guys. We don't have to do too much. Meanwhile, Gen G waiting for that peak.
From here, it's so difficult to try to get yourself into position where the spike can go down. Sylvan sending out the flash. King pushes off the back of it. He manages to find a second. That could be enough to try to get the back in, and now Texture gone as well. Suddenly, it's all on Bazzi. What a turnaround this has been, and King I think he might have seen the gun barrel, but either way, I think Global gonna feel like this round was stolen from beneath their feet.
Just the rug pull. I mean, that's a feels bad moment for sure. You had it going right for it. You had the null command. What happened?
Kills Rossi full blind.
Exactly. It's one of those moments where Gen G just had the anticipation to wait for that push. They knew it was coming.
Yep, there it is.
As soon as the spike went tapped.
I mean, maybe this is a reference too old for you, but it feels like Gen G just Mr. Magoo'd their way into a round win. Just blindly stumbling, finding victory.
I got that reference. I like Mr. Me, but here we go. Rossi off the operator again. They're looking for those aggressive picks. And Gen G are kind of holding their ground.
Preemptive pop on the blades. Just go ahead and eat that dog there. Okay. Yes. Eliminated by Texture. Goddad trying to pressure B-Link. Pop flash to lead through. Monyet tries to turn away from the Rossi's got the covering fire. The right click. Even at that mid-range, still going to be good. Finds the headshot connection. And suddenly it's just King all on his lonesome. In a 1v4. Swing out. He gets one, but at 20 HP, surely this is a hopeless cause, and it is. Rossi will clean up a 4K as GE lock in a 5th round in the first half.
Very different style to how Gen G has been playing, but still a valiant attempt. It's a 5-7 first half. Not too bad for Global. I mean, sometimes you just want to play your own game. Sometimes playing these aggressive picks. Sometimes just holding up around R and D connector, just because you know that this is where Gen G loves to explore. You're able to find these picks. You have the right click, and you stop Gen G dead in their tracks. King was the only one left, and he couldn't do all too much.
Yeah, I think being able to get back to 5, especially after dropping your anti-eco round, not too bad here, but obviously things could have been significantly better. They could have been the one in the 7-5 position. They could have maybe had an 8-4, whatever it is. That snowball effect from losing the round, it's hard to say, you know, what could have happened otherwise. Definitely be kicking themselves for that, but likely at least somewhat content with this. But do the pistol, what do we go with? Pistol Parliament, since they're multiple people. We can't go with Pistol Prince, that's sexy. But yeah, can they continue to excel in these pistol rounds and start this next half off correctly?
I mean, it's not just winning the pistol rounds, right? Because you want that conversion. This is something that we've been talking about basically all day. You get those first kills, you get those pistol round wins. But why aren't you winning series? Why aren't you winning maps? And that a lot of times comes down to sometimes the strategy or maybe just the individual performance coming out of Gen G at times. I mean, we talk about Meteor, and he was able to find those highlight clips. We talk about, I mean, King at times even as well. Or well, I guess the crowd laughing at God Dead with the tissue in his nose.
Yeah.
And I think on this attacking side, that's something that we can expect.
Well, the attacking side is probably what's the most terrifying, is even the fans have tissues in their nose to support God Dead here. But you take a look at the win percentage on the attack, it's not great from the side of Gen G, or from the side of GE.
Yeah.
33% overall compared to a 55% win rate on defense. So starting off this slowly is unfortunate for them. Of course, Gen G with plenty of fans representing here in the audience. We'll see if they can do it, if they can get that pistol yet again, and then also not drop the anti-eco.
Not drop the anti-eco, that's the key phrase.
Otherwise, we're back to lock-in. And
Yeah.
it's them versus Vitality all over again.
Oh boy. We don't talk about painful memories here at Kilios. But here we go. Okay, it is global. They do have a couple of frenzies. Aaron is on his. But look at how we start things off. The 0 point, get a little bit of information. We're starting to poke and prod towards the A site, but not quite committing to it. At the same time, Gen G are playing so safe, so disciplined, and this is something they can do with their double controller setup.
Prowler to check close. Over towards Art. Nothing noted.
Here.
It's going to be the slow and steady push, and they're not going to find too much opposition as that guiding light goes in.
That'll confirm it, though.
Just be continuing to watch this angle. Sylvan with the classic, no armor. Can he get anything done? Has to just back away as the frenzy shots ring out.
I'm curious if Monyet will find any lurks, because it does look like Global will basically get the spike plant pretty soon. Rossi sneaking through Flower, though.
They're not rotating yet, which is the surprising thing. Creeping into water. He's not watching for it. Finds one. There's the push out. Sylvan will be able to trade it instantly, but spike is planted. GE, I would say they have the site, but they completely evacuated it. No fragment. Nano swarms it down. See how they decide to pilot this one for the rest of the round.
We have 1 star. Sylvan does have blinds, so does God Dead. I mean, Gen G could just take the fight to them, leave someone on the spike.
They know that one is going to be holding somewhat close, which is well going to be suppressed. Spray and the headshot comes across. Texture finding one, gets the spike diffuser as well, crucially.
Look at
Zarin gets knocked down to 14. Monyet now on that flank angle. Over by Art. Just waiting for them to push back across. And no, third shot is the charm. Gets TS in the end. Meteor get taken down, and GE will go ahead and maintain their pistol win rate. Both of them now going their way here on Pearl.
So far, so good. But still, a little bit curious, right, Achilles? I mean, we were expecting that rotation for the longest time. They were just waiting for the tap to confirm it. Maybe they were second-guessing themselves, but this allowed for Global to sneak behind. This allowed for Global to buy just enough time to get the spike planted, set up post-plant utility, and also sing some songs, apparently, holding it all the way from A-main.
Nicely done, but now it's all about avoiding tragedy like we saw in the first half. TS looking to get himself into an aggressive position, and this time the Sheriff is not going to do the trick for him. The shot goes wide, Texture shuts him down, and that's a man advantage right off the rip here for GE. King having to hold close dash in. He is noted. King trying to use the smoke against him, and he will get some good damage down on the roster. But now Sylvan to be forced out into the open. Takes quite a bit of nasty damage. Knocked down the 19, but still gets tucked away over here in dugout. Sees coming through. They found that locket. Meteor. They no-scope headshot there off the Marshal just moments before death. Well, at least put another weapon onto the floor here. If God Dead can get anything else, but he cannot. Monyet good for it with a third. That now brings us up to parity. 7-7 across the board.
Not the cleanest of rounds, but at least we see that Global does have what it takes to, deny those second round thrifties. They managed to secure that lead, even out the board. And it's a lot of these rounds where, why fix what ain't broken? We just rush in, we pre-fire some angles and corners. We know where they're hiding. But this is where things get tricky because we know how strong Gen G can be. They have those rifles in their hands now. And I think they're going to push out an A main.
Like they're at least considering it. See if Texture wants to re-aggress. He does have a Bulldog,
Here.
but looks like he's just going to be sat back. There's a turret fairly far back right there on the corner just to try to play contact in case anybody does swing out. So that's a very long angle for King to be watching. No one playing up close here at Link.
I mean, the thing about playing positions like these is if you can surprise your opponent, you take one of them. You get further information, everyone has to rotate on time. You have to do it fast.
Push coming in, King able to stabilize, finds one, and Aaron dies to the bite. It's an odd jerking motion there from his body as it hit the floor. Snapped over the side, and suddenly Bazzi and Moniette. GES trying to read this one. Bazzi's good for 2 before getting taken out, so a little bit of damage dealt, but Gen G not going to let this slip away from them.
Yeah, I like that. See, this is the Gen G that we want to see. More map control. We have a bit of aggression towards A main. We managed to take one player out. As soon as G rotates over, we know where they're headed. And at the same time, King is able to delay them. That snake bite timing was so crucial, and he put it down just at the right time. And as soon as Global tried to flood in through connector, I mean, all you have to do is spray.
Given that the blades are built up, Gen G still able to get very solid buy. Money bank on the back end, but as he goes to push out, it's unescorted. Nothing to play with it. Just a dry swing into death. 2 players now gone on the B site, widely broken open. Goddead arriving now to try to turn this around, but does eat a flash into another one. Now has to back over towards the Link.
Falling back.
And anticipating this. Nade again, not quite going deep enough, but just swings off of it. Still comes up with a kill. Texture watching the flank, finds both.
Damn.
And that is going to be us now tied up at 8-8. A flawless round for Global. A very much needed reply, not dropping any weapons in that round.
It's an interesting approach from Gen G, a bold one if anything, but the drying peaks just did not work out. I mean, you see those stars plays down. You see that Meteor wanted to go on the offensive. But that said, Global was just prepared for it. At the same time, we have Texture coming in from behind as well. Just a flawless round for Global.
Now Meteor is going to be that hero rifle, Sheriffs and a shorty to try to turn this around and get them back into a leading position.
Exploring those options again, but Global knows they have the money. Global knows they have the firepower. Why not just rush into B, I suppose?
Yep, I mean, it's Pearl. This is how we play Pearl. Rush to B. No opposition really found here. You're watching at default plant. It's like they're going to go a little bit more out in the open here. Feeling secure and their site control.
Here.
Texture going to be watching the flank, but he's got 2 pieces of util to play off of the turret as well as the alarm bot, with Aaron not too far behind. No supporting util though.
I mean, that's the scary thing. I think Aaron has to kind of just hold it out by pillar, because the most important thing you want to shut down is Meteor.
Here.
He's gone now.
It's done. Sylvan will be able to recover the Phantom and went out on that fight over at main, and now all sights are on him. Oh, gets headshot through the corner and just decides, okay, I'm going to back away and hold on to this gun. We'll head for the hills. And everybody else here on the side of Global with 4 members strong will be able to survive as Global do retake a lead now 9-8.
A lot closer than expected, Gen G. I mean, it was an eco, but still, I mean, that's how we play Pearl, like you mentioned, Achilles. Global knows to go aggressive. And off of that, just once they have the spike down, those post-plant positions set up, every angle covered, all the relay systems involved. I mean, you had Texture just watching for the main shop side, and then Aaron as a secondary cover out by pillar, if anything. Question is, though, what's the next plan? Now Global headed back towards A just to suss out a bit of information. This is their default. but we don't see anyone pushing out from Gen G's side. This is a hefty investment, and Gen G has to make it count.
Really widely just seeking a side control. Get that orb crossover on Abazi, who's now just one away from having the Nightfall.
Bring them down.
If they came away with the kill from it, that would be even better. But, I mean, you can see this little setup. They have the pop flash going out. They have the gravity well set up over at A main, trying to catch everybody at arches. As TS is solo holding down B and just can't quite get it done. No damage found. Every bullet whiffing. Now Cosmic Divide going to be invested as well as they look for this close plant fragment to go ahead and clear back Hall. Meteor playing up close, but now has to deal with a lockdown. Probably doesn't note him, though. He may just try to push off the back of this, but yeah, as he does, has to move away. The haunt reveals.
Trying to deny the spike plant, but it's in a different spot. The Seekers are spent as well, but doesn't really quite find anything. Global are already set up all by long.
No
Rossi
charges
up by
left.
Hall.
My
What a
ult's
nasty drag. Finds one. Let's go ahead and maybe overheat just a little bit for the blind swing out.
Face your fear.
Comes to Nightfall.
Meteor just caught by it as Aaron will get the collat for 3. And Global will now move up +2 rounds. That's Gen G again. Economy all over the place.
One of the nastiest collaterals if I've ever seen any. And that's, again, like we mentioned, hefty investment for Gen G. They have to make it count, but now economy is going to be all over the place. And it comes down to these relay systems again. Trying to hold the angle solo didn't really work out. You just don't really have enough time to react to the stampede of footsteps coming from Global. All of a sudden, we switch up the pace.
Rossi spotting him, and Sylvan lucky to get out of there with his life intact. Meteor now bold to actually be swinging into this. Shots going just on the outskirts. Rossi's outline.
We see the rotations a little bit faster this time. Global somewhat sandwiched in towards Art. If they can take down Aaron, that could be huge. They're pushing out into A-main as well, Achilles. Look at Gen G.
Yeah, but Moniette anticipating this. He's anticipating a potential crunch from either side. He's got the turret in mid, which should be getting outranged here, if not already. Alarm bot for now, the first thing to go off, and Moniette should be very well aware of this, especially as the footsteps come swinging through. Spots one. Continues to try to push the envelope, but as he spots another member, seems like he wants to back away. Gets himself situated here at the top mid, and that'll be good for one. Sylvan almost certainly going to go down if he decides to continue pushing the issue here. It's okay. God, that he wants to recover this weapon, but texture waiting over at water.
We got to stop.
One of the more uncommon positions now. King. Just way too many angles to cover.
Yeah. Prowler connects. They know where he is. He's starting to crunch on his position here. Sylvan has managed to take one with him, but then King runs out of bullets. And Global now just 1 round away from map point. 4 consecutive in a row, and yeah, there we go. I was going to say, do we see the timeout from Gen G? We, in fact, will. So burning their last one.
I mean, this is exactly the result that you want to have on your very own map pick. Global clearly has studied how Gen G kind of defends it. In this second half, looking way better. The way that they're defending and pushing in. Going in on all over the place, especially once the spike is down. You know, especially on these pistol rounds, save rounds from Gen G, where they buy up the sheriffs, they tend to push out a little bit, just trying to find whatever they can. And it's in these moments that Global actually sneaks through the cracks. Getting a spike down on A was a big win, and something that I think Gen G needs to fix. And of course, this is what this timeout is all for.
Yeah, and Gen G looking out of sorts at the moment, but you know, for GE, this is a trend in the right direction, because you know, one of the things that we have been seeing is that oftentimes the attacking side from Global on pretty much every single map other than Icebox has been weaker than their defending side. Now, notably, Aaron, when he was on Xset, was the defending side caller, didn't do that much calling on attack, and it's something that he's had to now very much get used to since joining Pacific, and this is looking, so far, quite excellent. Granted, Gen G, with this buy, with Meteor with an AWP in their hands, could certainly get themselves back into a nice position. But still, the reads that we've been seeing and the way that Global's playing the map is a very good trend.
Needless to say, it's not just Aaron as well, with SK Rossi leading the kills. Global now trying to go for a different approach again. That's an interesting 0 point.
I mean, I think they've realized, you know, we haven't really had this mid control. Let's check if someone's close, and ooh, they indeed are. Meteor, quick reaction will take out Rossi. A great start, but do they also anticipate that Sylvan is still going to be here? He was the one that's noted, and yeah, they think that he was still going to be in flash, but Meteor has swung back around the opposite side. Comes up with another kill.
In all these rounds, you're just trying to make educated guesses. There was a good one onto Sylvan, but you have to still anticipate Meteor. God dead now.
On does reveal, fragment out, just to try to buy some time. Monyet finding one, TS
Spike down
peeking out into Link, does find another elimination. 3-2 now with a man advantage. And a potential cosmic divide should they need it for a retake of the site.
30 seconds left.
Guess maybe you just wait. Don't have to expose yourself. We're just waiting. I mean, Gen G wants to play together, but oh, Global.
And Texture wins the fight. Now the plant comes down. It's a 2v2. That cosmic divide is gone. Everything invested here.
Right there.
Meteor, he should be able to go ahead and pick up a rifle on this rotate. But they hear him.
Uh-oh.
Pushing out, and the reaction time is not going to be good enough. Now they just have to try to suss out where King is going to be.
2 heads are better than 1, Achilleos.
Nano just in case. Bite goes down. It's not quite deep enough to find any kills. Will throw up the poison orb, spams through just a little bit, tries to eat some damage, and Texture's got the timing to absolute perfection. Global bring it now to map point, 12-8.
Match point.
That's 5 wins in a row now.
Cool.
And off of a buy round, no less. Gen G. I mean, we had such a good approach towards the middle. We had Meteor finding 2.
Enemy down.
But as soon as the dust settled, I don't know what happened. They start to lose map control. We're all spread out across, and in these tiny moments, Texture and this subtle aggression actually pays off dividends for Global. The 1 pick out onto TS, I think, was the biggest difference maker. Now into match point. Have to invest everything the Viper's Pit in, but SK Rossi.
Oh, and he gets the timing on the God Dead as well as he tries to shut down the push. King instantly watched out of the pit. Sylvan only good for 1. That now leaves Meteor and TS to try to drag this one back from the brink. The alarm bot cleared, but Meteor has to relocate. As Rossi up over the top, the final blade will do it. Gets the reset. TS dead, and Meteor now. It'd be a monstrous clutch, an absolute miracle if he could pull it off. He's got no reason to not go for it. Monyet gets the timing, gets the headshot.
We still have Aaron on KO.
Yeah, we do. Sticking with it. As Texture will just continue to be playing the Killjoy. Even with some more nerfs, it's not good enough. She's still so damn strong. But, I mean, now that we're talking about, you know, Killjoys, King, back over onto that. He has been very solid at Viper. We saw plenty of that from his play on the first map, but now he's back to his absolute bread and butter, maximum comfort agent in this Killjoy. Let's see how they fare, as they will be starting things off here on this defending side.
That's right. I mean, once again, Gen G, if you really are that team that can rival DRX, you cannot fall to Global on this map, especially on your own map pick. So now Meteor actually getting courageous to push out.
Oh, that he is. God Dead with a covering fire, going to be good for 3. And what looked like maybe a catastrophe ends up turning into a trade up.
I mean, Aaron had the lineup previous map, but here they all got choked up by this one spot outside of the mound. And this sends Global packing all the way to the other side of the map. This is where it's going to get a little bit curious, though, because Gen G has the map control now. They have all the utilities set up. King, as long as he stays near his turret, he's going to get the information. They can rotate to play together for the retake.
They're going to split off a little bit, try to cover some extra ground. No, okay. Oh, yeah, Monyet just faking the door tap.
Oh, King.
As the push comes in, and King insta headshot. Bazzi as low as he was. Gets taken down, and that leaves Monyet all on his lonesome now. Faking the TP. So try to push this, but it's still being watched. King not necessarily reading it. And Now, the jump peek, yeah, gonna be good enough. And that right click will go ahead and finish them off. Gen G will take their first pistol round in the series.
This is what we want to see from Gen G, like a
only
little bit more safe in the way that they play it, especially with King peeking out in times. You have the support from your teammate. You're not doing anything solo. You're not just watching angles. You're being proactive. Even in the final frag, you're jump peeking just to make sure, just to be safe. This is the Gen G that will perform, and if they can keep this up, this could be a quick map.
And one more headshot there. Goddead would have been set up for an ace.
Oh,
The Moniette special when it comes down to pistols, but split is not allowed in this series. Quick pop flash over towards Mound here from Global, trying to see if that forward pressure is there yet again. Oh, the first shot gonna whip from Meteor, and Sylvan a little bit slow on the follow-up, so everybody from GE able to back away from this position completely unscathed. Nice early kill. Seems like Rossi, okay, I thought maybe he was gonna try to push up into that smoke to grab that Marshall and have a little bit of extra firepower.
I guess they deemed it a little bit too risky to go for that pickup, but at the same time, I mean, this is the thing about Lotus. It's such a, I don't know, small but divisive map that has so many different little spots that kind of allows or maybe tempts defenders to push out. And this is why we're starting to see Global actually play a little bit slow. Of course, the fact that they're on eco as well. Bunched up together, the pistol train will choo-choo their way over onto the A site. They will get the spike plant.
Yep.
And this is a good little boost for economy.
Yeah, already just going to be getting that extra 300.
Spike planted.
King now starting to push out.
Turret behind.
Turret's behind, deactivated. I mean, look at this stack on rope. They've got everybody collected on rope, and granted, I mean, we know no one's going to be approaching from that angle. They'll go ahead, they'll use the Trailblazer to go ahead and scout over towards stairs. Nothing to be found, and now they can fan out a little bit more.
So they should be aware that it's coming all the way from the front side. Rock.
Oh. The spot, the swing out. Moniette going to be good for one. Bazzi in the meantime taken down over on the site. They start to go for the defuse. TS trying to hold, but he's going to be blinded out. Temperature swings in from the side. Goddead desperately trying to pull off this defuse, but it is not going to happen. And this is Shades of Pearl, but in reverse, it's going to be Global taking away the eco round after losing the pistol to Gen G.
I am stunned, Achilles. And it's all off that one weird little play with the stack up on the rope. They get the information, they know how to rotate around it. They had Moniette with the paranoia, and everyone just had their pistol shots going right. Again, like you mentioned, Shades of Pearl. They get information, they know how to work off of it, and Gen G play into their hands.
They're going to be carrying a hero rifle forward on TS. He's buying down to 50. And he's going to be playing over at Rubble, and right now, Global are showing no interest in playing this position whatsoever. Swing on the corner, shot not going to connect. It's going to be a back away here from King as the site will be taken. Nothing further to dissuade them.
Okay. A little bit of fragment just to clear out the positions. Gen G already on the spot, but
in the smoke, the shorty in hand. Meteor finding one, tries to get another. Puts that pop shot across onto Moniette, taking him down to 6 HP, but can't find the kill. 4v3, King now noted, spotted. They'll know from before that he's got that Marshall in hand, so they go ahead and back away. Moniette does get tagged here. Noted by that knife, but as the swing outs come through, you know, bloodier than you might have anticipated, but two members left standing, and the round win comes in. Global now establish a lead.
Get a little bit of damage, if anything, just to make their economy hurt, but they get to buy up so easily. And again, it's just Gen G. I don't know if that hero rifle really paid off all that much. You got a couple, sure, but
I mean, buying down to 50. The kills coming through, it's still pretty brutal. They will be able to scrape together, you know, a better buy, given the Bulldog there on TS. 3 half armors. It's full firepower. Aside from Moniette with the Spectre.
All right. Well, we do start off the round with just this aggressive push by Gen G up towards A. They can confirm that it is clear. You have to call the information that it's on C now, and your team has to rotate fast. Otherwise, Global gets a free plant.
Yep. Fragment just to check, Rossi. Hovering around the area, the site again empty. Flash goes into the smoke, so it doesn't actually check that defending side. You're just going to get flush against the wall. Ready to pounce. TS, how does he decide to pilot? This is the opposite side of the door. 3 members waiting for him at Mount. Texture will get flashed out. TP in behind. That's actually going to be Monyet going over towards Waterfall. 2 kills going to be found. Goddead is resible. The shotgun. What is the snap from Texture? King, however, pinches in, finds one, but Texture comes up with a third. Goddead's still on the floor. It's just TS now.
Oh, he smoked
One
off.
enemy remaining.
Completely smoked off. They know exactly where he is, and Texture sprays for the 4K.
Congratulations.
Might have thought it would have been from the shadows from Monyet, but it was Texture. The flick upwards midair.
And I'll tell you what, that we'll see it here again. This one, that brought me so close to saying a naughty word. Because good lord, the reaction from Texture is just nasty.
Lord have mercy, and it's again one of those moments where you really cannot afford to let Global take the lead that way. You cannot let them have the initiative. Now you're on Marshals and Sheriffs, and we know those could be strong on the side of Gen G, but so far not looking the greatest. On towards Mound. Global are not slowing down.
They are completely swarmed. TS good for one, looks for a second, a little bit of damage there into Aaron as the shot connects to his shoulder. But again, it's just going to be a C-site hit. They continue to flush their way forward. Sylvan just tucked away here. Oh, the spray into the back of sight. They find the kill, and Aaron just glances to the right and says, oh, hey, how you doing, Sylvan? A quick and easy kill. The swing out. The Marshall shot going wide. Goddead taken down. It's just Rossi on the floor, and GE stretching the lead by 4, or by 3, I should say, now at 4-1. And yeah, I was going to say, you have to pump the brakes here. If you're Coach Bile, you need to slow the momentum.
See, but this is where I'm really scared of Kilios. It's not just a timeout for Bile. I mean, Bile is the one who calls it, and he's going to address some things on his team. But at the same time, Eraser gets to talk to Global. And
Sure.
this is what we're talking about with momentum. You might get to pump the brakes a little bit, but we're seeing how C-side has been so successful for Global. It's always that same fragment, same flash and dash combo, which is going into the site. Only one player, and that's more often than not, basically King, defending C sometimes. And if you kind of start to stack players on the C site, then you're going to leave some gaps on the other parts of the map. And that's maybe when we start to see Global head towards A. It's not looking too good, and I think Gen G really needs to start to get proactive on some of these.
All 3. Utterly fantastic drawings.
We got a Wingman, we got a Peepo.
I mean,
is that a Viper?
I think that's supposed to be a Viper Pepe. And then, yeah, a Viper flexing here, showing their support from King. And I think right now, Gen G across the board need all the support they can get. Global are unrelenting on this attack thus far. Aaron leading the charge at 7-3-3.
And that's impressive on its own right. Monyet and Texture only having died once. King has a lockdown in this round, though, and that could be useful for retakes.
If they can hold the side, but I mean, they're aware of this, and they also know that King has been playing on C. So now they're turning the sights over towards B, which, while there is a minor setup, it's not going to delay Rossi.
Not at all. Look how far deep he's pushing in.
Throws up the Cloudburst. He's continuing to swing. He's really feeling it, and he manages to come away with a kill. Does he decide to back off? The answer is no, and it does end up costing him. Sylvan able to get the catch, and now the lockdown's going to be used, but it doesn't fully cut off the sight here. They could still go over towards Baby Door, or just get tucked right in this position. Aaron trying to dissuade. Shifts out, swinging wide, just leaving Monyet sat in this position. Push forward, Meteor, somehow good for that shot. Aaron now is going to be taken down as well. Meteor finds another, and suddenly it's just Bazzi all on his lonesome. Finds one, cannot get the other. And the timeout does well to go ahead and shift some of that momentum away from Global. Plant still in, but Gen G. They get the round win.
Very similar Korean style of going for the side retake. This is how Gen G performs. You have the lockdown. You already called for it during the timeout. One thing we might have not considered was how crazy SK Rossi was going to get, but once it comes down to it, you can see lockdown in. Let's hang out for a second and kind of coordinate this execute. We see the dash, we see the flash, and everyone goes in together at the same time. Once they start to waterfall off of each other that way, the retake will succeed. We need more of that from Gen G.
Still a good amount of tools to work with. This Meteor's going to be going to the Blade Storm. Rossi eating that Haunt reveal to clear the turret.
see the rotations going off of that as well. Stairs leave smoked off.
Picture's not with him. I was going to say if they can escort him forward onto the orb, that does give them a lockdown now to utilize, but it seems like it's just going to be the door break. Oh, push in towards B. Sitting inside of his smoke, though, is TS. The flash now going to be connecting onto him as GodDead looks to try to push them off, and TS tries to swing out. Not going to happen, but GodDead comes away with 2 kills before getting taken down by Aaron. Push on the corner, Meteor quick to arrive. Finds one, the Seeker up close.
Oh.
Knives have to be expended just to clear that. And now Bazzi is in a rough position. They know exactly where he's at. Everybody looking to flood him out, and they will be able to do so. Gen G stopping the streak and now bringing it within 1 round.
This is all off the timeout as well. They're starting to find success. They're starting to find that rhythm that they really needed in all these rounds. We started to see how they lost information, lost the initiative. It was just global pummeling through. But now, you might be smoked off. You might have lost the sight a little bit. But just hide inside of your smoke. We have our team here. We have the right calls. We're just going to play off of each other that way. And of course, Meteor coming up huge. GodDead actually coming up huge as well.
Now Global.
Kept the side intact. And then the timeout.
Global calling one for themselves here. Not long after we saw Gen G. We'll roll the music again. But I don't mind this because honestly, it feels like after these last 2 rounds, Global now need to slow down a little bit more. You know, fish for information. Try to default around a little bit, maybe find a straight pick or at least identify enemy positioning, whereas it's been very fast-paced in these last 2 rounds and Gen G have been able to counteract it.
That's right. I mean, the B site hit doesn't quite work out that well. And you have to consider that it's really because Gen G knows how to contest for the spike line. They can deny it. C site might be slightly laid out differently, and that's where I think we've seen more success from Global. But at the same time, you have to anticipate how Gen G might react to that. So I think you're absolutely right, Achilles. Maybe a slightly slower approach from Global would have worked. But now I'm curious to see how Gen G actually starts to take this lead. Or is it going to be a win streak from Global from here on out after this timeout?
We'll find out. The more rounds you can get on this attacking side as Global, the better. The Gen G, the defending side, granted they've only played this map twice, has been an 81% round win rate. So taking more away from them is definitely going to be good. Again, Rossi going to get caught by that haunt timing. Not too bothered by it though, because the rest of the team stacked up to potentially flood their way into the B site, but this is going to be watched. A double stack here.
Wow.
Swings and finds one yet. That's your smoker gone. Bazzi, however, does catch him. Both B players now disrupted. The lockdown going to be used. Just tucked away in the corner for now. Maybe wary that somebody potentially is going to try to swing out and clear this, but they start to make their way into the site now with the last few seconds remaining as Rossi gets himself around the back, but this is being watched, but Sylvan will lose the fight.
Those numbers start to dwindle for the side of Gen G. Not unless Meteor can pull off a miracle.
Done in the past. Avoids getting
Your fault.
suppressed. And pushes up, finds Texture tucked away in that corner, but Rossi now arriving. Oh, it's a little bit whiffy, but it takes him low enough for Aaron to easily swing and find the kill. And with GodDead on the floor, that is going to be Global once again stretching the lead.
And no miracles yet, but this is just such a good take from Global. Again, playing with the information. We start things off with so much thrown towards the A site. SK Rossi dashing up front. You could see that Gen G weren't really sure what to do. Kind of held back down on B, but it was so crucial, I think, for GodDead as well as TS to actually hold their ground. Unfortunately, they lost those duels somehow. Perhaps distracted by a fragment or something thrown at their faces, but because of that, they lost the B site.
Not fully breaking the economy, but they do push TS and GodDead back over onto Spectres. Looks like maybe it's going to end up being another swift C site hit. This time though, TS is here for a little bit of backup. Game Trailblazer trying to lead the way. Tailwind forward here, up into the Cloudburst, and Rossi manages to find the head, looks for the other, and it gets him. King going to be taken down. Haunt goes out, finds the mark, but Sylvan's noted and has to back off all the way around the corner of Waterfall. And from here, 2 of these weapons still in hand. Cash not looking great. It seems like that pick might go ahead and persuade Gen G to go for this. I thought maybe they would just call a very early save, but now it looks like they want to try to play this out.
Command as well. They're starting to push in, but they're going to have to clear on Mound. And look at how Monyette's positioned.
Yep, got that instantly. Knocked to the floor. Meteor, he's got nowhere to get out, and that's going to be an ace from Rossi to bring Global now to a 3-round stretch lead. The prodigy from India gets it done.
How the heck did he do that? Just starts things off super aggressive, onto the side on his own. And look at how he actually held down, jiggling back and forth just to watch the back side as well. Off to the last few bits, I mean, he just had the right position, the right angles being held. He deserved the pop-off King.
He is up on his feet, doing his best King impression. Not this King, but, you know, the other King.
Definitely.
Leviathan King.
Lots
It's
of
confusing
kings.
sometimes. But damn, what a play. God, dead now, just taking some stray shots with the Marshall. There's Rossi. He's going to look to lurk yet again. Continues to do this. Now on the C side, we've seen from twice over towards A. They're not going to be rotating into him, and instead he's just going to go ahead, tailwind back across, and look to rejoin with the rest of the team. Null Command now going to be popped. Aaron looking to lead the charge. A great headshot from King. Puts that KO down on the floor. Stun comes across. Meteor drops down off the top rope with the shorty. Finds one, but now is going to be traded back. Rossi with the covering fire, arriving right when they need him to. Catches TS. The res can come in, and oh, Aaron, he was just brought back to life. God, it says, you don't get a second chance at this one. But the hope of winning the round is certainly pretty much gone unless Sylvan can line up some of the nuttiest headshots that we've seen with the Sheriff in a while. Everybody sat back here towards Tree. Getting them out of this spot is going to prove to be nigh impossible.
No way. You peek into this, you're going to get the shock of your life.
Well, he does have the Phantom. Okay.
Nah.
Not a kill to be found. Nicely stacked, making sure no one sat directly in front of one another. Global will now take 7 in the attacking side with 2 more rounds to be played out.
And this is just such a great half from Global now as compared to the first map.
It's a great day.
Yeah, well, I want to reserve that till we see what happens, but so far it's this strategy of just early noises kind of scaring Gen G off a little bit and then cutting all that noise off, cutting off that information just to set up for a surprise hit on the other side of the map. Gen G are having a tough time reacting to this.
And it's surprising to say the least.
Here.
Gen G have been doing well with TS's shot calling to apply to pretty much any situation, but right now, Global, just W Gaming, are giving them more than they were bargaining for. Quick take a mount. But again, I mean, it's just early presence on one side of the map and then potential rotations. This time, they're trying to, cut noise. Maybe make Gen G second guess where this attack is going to end up coming from.
Might be true. We're lacking information right now, so this paranoia could be good. Second dark cover just to block it off, and we have 3 teammates still here.
I've got your trail.
Just to watch. Yes.
Quick to interrupt on the ult there. Rossi trying to lead the charge once more, but this time King gets the better of him. Aaron, however, able to push through, finds someone over towards Waterfall. King looks to continue to hold the site.
Spike down.
3 kills for him. The spike now dropped. Bazzi needing to clutch this one out. The fragment landing right at his feet. God, that is good for the headshot. Gen G fighting back here. Put a 4th on the board. Do we see another 7-5 half?
Possibly. I mean, that's what I want to see. You start off with some forward positions, you get that information, instantly react, TP back onto the side, smoke it off. Don't allow Global to get their way. And off of this as well, having the information, King is set up to anchor the site. He's got his teammates there to back him up as well. TS with the paranoia on time, on cue. Looking for that 5th. Oh my god.
Pop flash out.
Everyone's
Again,
just blinded.
just Rossi playing forward. The Prowler not going to go deep enough to scout him. So decides to use his own blades. Last round of the half.
Why not? Here's got plays in and off as well, though. We cut noise, we go back. TS. TP'd up on top of rubble.
What's that here? Doesn't get scouted. He's able to find Rossi before that flash really connects. Now the push under the corner. God dead. Able to find one before Monyette trades it back. That's good enough. And advantage is still there. We go ahead, pull back away from the A site. the rotations have already started. Right now, C left empty.
Tactically speaking, that's what we're looking for. Get a pick, back off, buy time. Global has to be the ones to make a move. And in all those moves, they could make a mistake. They're down 2 players. So now it's just body blocking, holding up on the B side.
Look for smoke, and they're not ready for it. Meteor
Spike down.
cuts them to
B.
pieces.
Spike down.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, Monyet, no ult, no hope of being able to just TP, pick up the spike, and get a plant somewhere. Used it in the previous round. He's going to send the paranoia across. Does clip on the Meteor, who now has that operator in hand, and he's going to want to swing it. He does. Ends up going down. Nightfall thrown, and King will just have the counter swing out. And there you have it. A 7-5 half, this time with Global in the lead, but still tight-knit between these two squads.
Fairly close, but a nice little bit of comeback from Gen G towards the end of this half. This is the reaction that we want to see. This is how you take the lead. This is how you take the initiative. From the shadows on towards the top of Rabble. And they are able to get even more information. They're able to stop Global dead in their tracks. And then Global might try to come back towards the B site, but Meteor already has his blades out. Cuts them to pieces. On to the next half. I mean, this is Lotus. 3 sites. Gen G starting up on the attack now.
I mean, anything could happen. You look back. I mean, like I said, I highlighted the defending side round wins for them. It's 54% on the attack, so not too bad. But given the way that Global are fired up at the moment, if Aaron continues to get the right reads, that could be quite costly for him.
Oh. Well, if anything, I am a little bit worried about one thing, is that the agent composition for this side of Global is like slightly different. I mean, at the same time, it's this. We're talking about this Fade versus Sky. You're missing a few flashes, and I don't know if that's going to be something that impacts you all that much.
I'm just looking for the hard info gain rather than the soft info gain, the guiding light sound trigger, but see how they fare. It's got some God-dead fan art.
So far, so good. I mean, still, it's this duel between the 2 Jets. We've seen SK Rossi get his ace. Meteor had a bit of a highline reel, but no ace so far. At the same time, just being supported by their initiators on both sides. GodDead and Aaron right now actually doing a fantastic job. Aaron, of course, slightly less impact, but he is calling. TS on the Omen, meanwhile, doing different things. I mean, the smokes that blocked off Seaside were so useful.
Now we get ready to dive in. GE with the lead. Can they maintain it in the pistol rounds? 2-1 so far, the scoreline. Be feeling very comfortable, very confident about closing the series out if they can pick this one up here.
That's the big if. But again, that's why this is such an important attacking side for Gen G. If they can show that they truly are DRX's rivals, they have to do it here. You can't afford to lose a series to Global. Global are gonna try to take it away from them.
I mean, it's the 2 teams that have been able to challenge DRX the most, at least so far.
You're
Given
right.
the overtime from Global versus them on Split, and then the map victory on Fracture here from Gen G versus DRX. Push in, instant headshot. Chucks Aaron down, but he responds with a nice shot across for the fragment, but Sylvan pushes his way forward. Gets up towards the side texture, only gonna be good for 1. You're now gonna be holding up top, decides to back away.
Drops onto the side instead, 1 player by tree. They're all holding these angles. Rossi's gonna sneak his way up.
To a tree, 2 at the backside. Rossi, good for the initial headshot. He's suspecting that there's going to be another one nearby.
Oh
He gets
my
him.
God.
Monyet in the meantime off screen takes down Meteor. GodDead, backside untouched. Monyet at 21 HP, but he gets him with the frenzy. And Global continue to win these pistol rounds time and time again. Another round 1. Up by 3 at 8-5. Gen G, can you steal away another eco round?
They did it once before, but they have to do it again now. You're gonna hear the sounds and voices of uncertainty, but when it comes down to it, Monyet with the frenzy.
21
Sometimes
health.
it's just the spray. The little crouch kind of threw GodDead off. Almost came close, but this was such a big win for Global. You talked about it. They get this, they maybe get this round, and this could be a 2-0.
Rossi's going for a judge. He is ready for this push on C, and that's where three players of Gen G are drifting right now. It's about to go across. It's going to be the orb take here from Meteor. I'm surprised to not see that funneled into GodDead to maybe get this null command up a little bit faster.
See, that's what they would want to go for, but right now in this round, how much can you take is the question. Global does not want to give up all that much. Look at how much A control they have. One up by Rocks, one up by Rubble. And now it's completely smoked off. But one way.
And the Haunt to check if anybody's nearby. Not yet, obviously not going to be spotted by that. And they have to be very much aware of that position, just given that, you know, TS was able to use it to relative success. But again, they don't like what they're seeing over towards A, so they're drifting ever closer to this judge.
That's the trap. Into the judge. If they can't take Rossi out, that's going to be painful.
30 seconds left.
Extra's here to play as well. We're going to explore B.
King spotted. The smoke,
here it comes.
Hubs, the dash at the ready. Tailwind forward. He's looking for one. He manages to get him. Continues to push. Rossi mows him down. 3 kills for him. Global not going to be dropping the anti-eco this time around. 9-5. Another day at the office for the boys.
Instead, they dropped the hammer, Achilleos. You talked about this, Judge. We were setting it up the entire round, and just as it comes down to it, I think Gen G wanted to try to find some picks, try to pick up some alt orbs, set GodDead up for that null command, something that could be really useful in a take. But no, we just pushed them into the welcome arms of SK Rossi.
They're looking for maybe a fast hit here. Okay, never mind. Initially, we're hovering on that paranoia, but decide not to go for it. Again, the one-way comes across here from Monyet. Set up a Rubble reinforced by Bazzi.
So oppressing. And you only have 2 flashes to push out off of.
Smokes down. Don't get another one for 8 seconds. Cloudburst comes up. Monyet still sat here. A couple initial shots towards him. As Bazzi looks to hold close, and he does. Quickly traded back. Monyet gonna be good for another. Now Aaron arrives. A 3rd kill. Found the headshot instantly. Comes across as the IGL will be the one to guide them into this conversion. 3 rounds consecutively now here on the defending side from Global, as they are just 3 more away from taking down Gen G in a 2-0 fashion.
And this is just the bonus one as well. For his debut on KO, what a performance.
That's my IGL. No. Oh my god.
The boys are riled up, and Gen G right now is doing nothing to silence them. Kicked back again. The Sheriff buys a Marshal for GodDead. Not even Meteor. Instead decided to invest down to 700 with the Spectre, and this time they fully anticipate Monyet's position. They get ready for it. A great initial clear out. But here comes the push. Bazzi able to find one, quickly gets traded back. Yes, with a Phantom. Taking him down now, Meteor with one as well. Well in his hand, Aaron looking to hold Drake. Sends out the pop flash, but the quick turn away from TS, and he manages to answer back with another kill, keeping them in a winnable position. SK Rossi dropping down here on the site. Judge in hand. Actually able to find Ron. Rossi jumps up over the top, but King will be able to finish him. The last man standing to keep Gen G afloat.
Everyone note down your observations, then let's run it again.
Just going in with the Judge, carefree. Thankfully, King is there to wallbang it through, but it's one of these rounds where we need more of those reads. Meteor dashing up to get the initiative on towards Monyet as he tries to set up that A side control. Was so crucial in pushing Global all the way back. Now we've swapped sides, swapping positions. Monyet now on C.
He does get caught in there, turn away from the flash. Actually, no, still ends up getting full blinded. A little bit of follow-up, and Meteor gets on top of him. Doesn't even take too much damage. Sylvan swaps over, tries to go for that link door.
The spike already down. These are such tiny choke points for Global to push through.
Trying to get in, trying to take down Meteor. Nobody's tagged up. Now Monyet going to be spotted. Meteor looks like he's ready to sacrifice himself to the cause. Might not have to. Monyet comes spilling out of the smoke. It's only going to be able to find one more. 4 members left standing now. Gen G continue to fight back. A quick hit on B delivers them a round win. Now just 3 away from tying it.
Closing in that gap. You have to point out, like, that's actually a really good take, especially on a site as tiny as B. The coordination it takes to pull this off. The Prowler first just to bite onto one player, and then Meteor to dash off of it just to get close enough to take him out. And you notice most of them are holding on to Phantoms, only a couple on Vandals, and that is a very useful tool to block off these choke points, especially when you're playing close range on a site like B. So now timeout from Global.
Second one being burned here by a Razor, looking to right the ship and guide them through these final 3 rounds. File as well. Gonna be crunching with the rest of the squad to try to maintain this little 2-round streak that they've got for themselves and stretch it even further. And I think, honestly, if you are Global, the closer this gets, obviously the more pressure is going to be added up, but not just because you want to get this 2-0, you want to get this series done with, get the win, get out, but also because Haven is on the horizon.
If it comes down to it, but that's something I'm really curious about. I want to see what their ultimates look like. Again, this is how Gen G might actually have a chance at turning this completely around on its head, because they have shown a really interesting approach, especially on the pistol round. You have a fade, you don't really have those flashes, those long-range pushes that you can go. So maybe A side isn't the most favorable, especially given how Global can completely block you off with one-ways. Maybe it's that B or C, and then you will go through all those little connector spots. Well, we're going to go straight back onto the A site.
Looking for a bit of a rush play, but the hunt has revealed. Cloudburst down, the push forward, Rossi gets Meteor, looks to retrieve the gun, he does, and this rush is looking gorgeous until Goddead swings back with 2 of his own. TS in the meantime collapses from the flank, and in the blink of an eye, we are down to a 2v2. Here in Texture versus TS and Goddead.
That's just a bloody brawl. Goddead is really low, and that is dangerous because this is virtually a 2-on-1. Even worse if TS loses Slive, and that's why they have to be so careful just to regroup. You have 1 full minute to work with.
Smoke to cut off rope.
Uh-oh.
The creep forward. So far, sightline's not being given. Texture ready, but there's nothing to swing off of.
They're not going to move.
Both teams suspecting that there could be rotations. Neither team fully aware.
Goddead has a knife.
Heron has one as well. Would reveal both of their locations, but here comes the creep up. The question is he going to be ready? Heron finds one. TS finds the kill. The swing out, and Texture's got him. TS a fraction of a second away from being able to stabilize that aim and get that kill. It's costly on both sides, but the cash is there. It would seem a bit more for Gen G.
Yeah, I have to say. I mean, such an interesting attempt from Gen G as well. TS using the From the Shadows to actually get up behind on the site itself. He had a good potential for that flank, and that's why it was brought down to a 2-on-2 in the first place. But you have to consider this huge firefight on A keeps happening, and it's one that favors Global.
Now look at the disparity, even with that round win. It's just Texture carrying that Phantom. Rossi, having used the blades before, opting for a Bulldog, but everybody else on pistols. 2 Sheriffs and a Ghost. Global continue to not play around with their economy, not take risks, and buy low.
That's right. We have the lead. All we need are 2 more rounds on the side of Global. Gen G trying to claw their way back. Everything that they're approaching seems to be blocked off. They're buying out that utility. Just burning it away from Global.
Rossi saw enough with that jump peek. Did make eye contact with Meteor. Now we'll be smoked off.
Here.
Now let it check towards Switch. Rossi, not sure if he got wrapped up there by that 0 point. Either way, the null command's going to be popped as they go rushing their way through tree. Stamping everybody aside from King. Pushing on this position. As Rossi instantly flushed out, dealt with. Bazzi trying to find one, does get Sylvan for his troubles. Again, floating around inside of the smoke, but again, it's just a Sheriff.
1 enemy remaining.
Goddead comes in from behind.
30 seconds left.
Spots him. Now Texture spraying
Spike
through the box,
planted.
trying to get that connection. Meteor will swing the corner. Takes his head off. 4-member strong economy, still well established here for Gen G. They pick up another round win, and yet again, they're just 3 away from tying this up.
A good stable round, if anything, from Gen G, just to bring us back on our heads. Start things off with a little bit of a scuffle, but at the same time, it's this null command that really blocks SK Rossi off. The smoke as well. You need more of these rounds where you're able to cover all exits, cover all entrances, just to wrap around onto Global. And of course, without the firepower, Global doesn't have what it takes to win out in those close quarter duels. Back on to the next round now, they will be able to buy out.
And B site's widely been completely abandoned. Gen G get the right read to go ahead and rush this position. Turret cleared out, Spike now being planted. Lockdown is available from Texture.
Spike planted.
Could end up being a very costly round, but Goddead going to be taken down off the rip. A Meteor finds 2, TS pushing forward, finds another. Rossi able to trade it back. Goes across the blind, it's out. Rossi stabilizes the aim, and suddenly it's just King left. Having to wait, the detain, not going to catch him. They almost line up. They're swinging forward, but Rossi picks up a 4K. And as the defuse comes through, Global are going to take this to match point.
Just incredibly crisp and sharp aim from SK Rossi. You had the lockdown, you called it out, Achilleos. Texture, placing it down, gave Global the stability to peek out, allowed for SK Rossi to find those 4 frags. If you were Global and you tried to fight onto this, the sight hit was good, but it just looked as if Global anticipated it. Global knew to set up for that retake.
A little whiffy at the end, but was able to get Sylvan. And then as soon as they get the read, just goes ahead, swings out for it, trusting that even if he falls, Bazzi would be good for the follow-up kill. But Rossi gets forward, and yeah, you can see him putting his hand on his chest. Breathing heavy after that round, but now it's just 1 left to go. That score is not correct. Do not be fooled. Thank you, production. It is, in fact, Global in the lead.
It is. Hence the timeout, and you really have to make your final stand here. If not, I mean, this shakes up the storylines. This shakes up the power rankings. Global, the potential is coming alive on this map. They switched up their agent composition. They put SK Rossi in, and all of a sudden, this is a brand new look for the team.
And it just makes you wonder, what if? Had they not had those visa issues, had they had Lightning Fast and Rossi here a bit earlier, what could have been? Either way, Global clearly not worried about the past. They are focused on the present as well as the future. And closing out this series, 1 more round to go for them to be able to scoop this one up and take down the team that has been right there in the top 2 since the very beginning of Pacific.
And then it comes back to those buys again. I mean, you might not have all that much, but SK Rossi banking on those knives. Just positioning himself as well as the team for quick rotations all across the map. We're never quite sure what Gen G is about to hit. These site retakes have worked out before. Perhaps A is the answer. Prowler in. We know where our texture is.
Texture.
Oh my, he's using
slipped a bit. Oh, he slipped the net here. Just a bit. The push in! Texture finds 2! Meteor able to reply, however, quickly back. But now Rossi with the blades out. Goddead going to be taken down. CS and Meteor left in a 2v3 scenario. The drop down, the double stack, they spot him. He tailwinds away. 25 health remaining. The knife broken. The spike in their hands, but they can't take the risk to try to go for the plant. Meteor considering the rope, but Aaron, he finds the last 2K!